The world is advancing in such a fast paced way, and our children are surrounded by gadgets at home, at school. Screen time is a thing.
That's
Before you give your child a car to drive, you make sure that they know exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and you give them a very intensive preparation. Before our children learn how to drive, they go for driving lessons, they learn the rules of the road, they learn the different functions of the things that make the car move. And eventually, when they're ready, they get a card. That means they are a certified driver. But what about cell phones? What about laptops? What about television? What about the internet? Hi, I'm Elaine Matlala, and today I want to talk about the importance of safety for our little ones on the internet. This is a very fast paced and fast developing industry, and our children are stuck on it the minute they get a phone. And it may seem to us like our children are so smart because they know how to use these things and navigate these sites, and they know more than us about the internet. And that is very scary because if your child knows more than you about the internet, what does it mean for you in terms of parenting? How will you keep them safe? How will you know when they're in danger? And what do you do when you find out they are? If you've noticed, the conversation about children on the internet has become very loud and very popular, happening more frequently on social media, in conferences where education is discussed and the future of edtech, educational technology. Our children are using devices at school, some schools, most schools. But research shows us that children who don't use them do better overall. Reading levels have dropped worldwide. Children are no longer able to read. Resilience and patience and all those things that we learn from just playing outside and gazing outside the window when we're on a bus that's moving from point A to point B. Relationships have changed. Everything is changing, and it's all because of the internet. The internet is an amazing place. We find so many amazing websites, things we didn't know. We learned so much from the internet, but it's also a very dark and scary place, especially for our little ones, where people have no faces. You don't know the intention behind the person's texts and posts because it just looks okay. And so it seems okay. And for our children, that's really dangerous. Something as small as an ad that pops up on your child's screen can lead them into very scary places. They can go onto chat rooms that they find themselves being groomed on how to do certain things that adults don't want children doing, but also forming relationships with people that mislead them and can eventually cause them to fall into danger. Here are some important things to help you when navigating this massive thing called the internet. First off, when you give your child a device, speak about it. Have control measures and rules and expectations and put them on the table. Before you give your child the device, make sure to think it through. Have a plan, have an understanding of what you want them to know and how you want them to use it, and put down some boundaries. For example, if your child is using their device freely on the internet and you have not put on any tracking apps or monitoring apps or parental controls, and an ad happens to pop up and they get curious, which is completely normal. Our children are naturally curious, and that is how they learn and grow. And out of curiosity, your child clicks on the link and it leads them to a porn website. What will you do? How will you handle it? What will you say to them? When you give them the device, be ready to answer all their questions. What if your child finds themselves on a game, an online game, for example, Roblox, and they begin talking to a stranger, and it's just innocent and they're talking about a game, but then this stranger starts talking about things that you have not spoken to your child about. And then they come out of the game and they ask you, Mom, you know, I was playing with Michaela today and this is what she said to me. Don't flip out. Don't freak out. Don't crash out. Remain calm and talk to your child about it. Because if you don't talk to them about it, Michaela will. And if Michaela is a 50-year-old pretending to be an 8-year-old on a game, then Michaela will give your child information that you don't want them to have. So it's best for you to talk about it. So number one, when you give your child that device, be ready to have uncomfortable conversations. Number two, if you give your child a device and you set boundaries, be ready for the pushback. This wonderful device, this gadget, whether it's an iPad or a cell phone or whatever it is, these things are addictive. Screens are addictive. That blue light, that rush that they get from all these shows that they watch and all the information on social media, and it's a lot. When they do get it, they might not want to let it go. So you need to set boundaries and you need to follow through on what you say. If you said we are putting the phones away at 3 p.m., then 3 p.m. better be 3 p.m. Because if you don't take it away at 3 p.m., then you cannot expect them to want to willingly put it away tomorrow at 3 p.m. So you have to follow through on what you say and be ready for the pushback, because they might push you back. They will push back. Children test boundaries all the time. And if you said 3 p.m., they might start throwing a tantrum at 3 p.m. when you want to take away the phone. But you have to know that it's okay and it's normal. Number three, you have to learn the tech. Learn the thing. Know the controls, know the parental controls, know the websites that they're visiting, know the games they're playing. If your child is on an online platform playing games, then you want to be in the know about that game so that when they are in the thing and something happens, you know what they're talking about and how to fix it. Number 4, you have to keep an open communication about their time on the screen. And it's not just their time on the screen, it's just keep an open conversation going about everything. Because if you shut them down, even once, when they try asking you a question that may seem uncomfortable for you, then they will never ask you again. They'll find someone else to ask them, especially if you're that mom or that dad that overreacts. If they ask you a question and you do not address it well, they will not ask you again. So keep the conversation open, keep it neutral. And if you don't know, it's genuinely okay to say, hey, I haven't thought about this thing, but let me get back to you on it. Or let's learn about it together. Let's do our research together and let's find out about this thing. Let's talk about privacy. Privacy is a thing, especially if you've got a teenager. It's also a thing if you have a child and you've given them the device, but you have not spoken about what to do and what it means. Privacy is a very important thing, obviously, to them and to you. But when it comes to devices, it can be a bit tricky because you want to know what they're doing. You want to know they're safe. You want to know how they're handling social media and conversations with friends and emails and pictures and all those things. But you also don't want them not to feel like you trust them. So you have to toe the line. In terms of privacy, that initial conversation that I spoke about, when you give your child the device, say, hey, I'm watching what you're watching on my app. Hopefully you have an app, but I'm watching what you're watching. I'm reading what you're reading, and I've blocked certain sites from your device. It will ask me for permission. And occasionally, I will take your phone and I will go through your pictures. I will go through your videos just to see what it is that you're getting up to. I'm not prying on you. I'm not trying to make you feel insignificant or unable to handle it. I'm not trying to make you seem irresponsible, but I want to make sure that you're safe because many people just don't care about you. So you want to have that conversation. And if you haven't had it yet, it's never too late. They might not be as open to it as they might have been 5 years ago before you gave them the phone. But if you keep an open and clear communication line about it, you will be able to navigate that space. So privacy is important, but it shouldn't be the thing that keeps you from protecting your child and taking responsibility over their life.